Alright, it's recording. So, why did the Orientals break off after Chalcedon and we didn't? Well, first of all, it's kind of a non-question because it's not real. Um, I get these all the time. Well, we agreed with Chalcedon, and the Orientals did not break off after Chalcedon. That's how up till Chalcedon is how many creeds they currently accept. The break with the Orientals is something like ninth century, but even then, you see, there still wasn't it's not a clean break. There's still some Orthodox churches that weren't. People ask me what I'm Antiochian Syriac of the Eastern Orthodox Communion, not of the Oriental Orthodox. It's either the Oriental and Eastern, the same word, but that's how it's done. You see non-Chalcedonian and non-Chalcedonian, you could say too. So I'm in communion with Greece, Russia, Bulgaria, Serbia, China, Japan, uh, some churches in India. I mean, what they usually call Eastern Orthodox. Now, the Oriental Orthodox, who are ruled by the Copts, Pope Shenouda of Alexandria is kind of like their pope of everything. They listen to him primarily. And the ones under that are the Armenians, again, Syriacs. There are Syriacs that are under them too. Jacobite, um, Eteria, Ethiopia. But but some churches, some jurisdictions are in communion with each other, and there's no, like, the Syriac Eastern Orthodox and Syriac Oriental. Now, since Ignatius of Was and Ignatius IV, both bishops of Antioch, said they can intermarry, they recognize each other's baptism, they recognize everything. So if you get married in one church, you don't have to get married in the other, because way back in the day, if an Eastern and an Oriental want to get married, they'd get married in the Eastern Orthodox Church and then go over to the Oriental Orthodox Church and get married. There'd be two ceremonies. They said, no, that's foolishness. There's one. We both recognize each other's marriages, which is a big step. Now, there's the Ethiopians that are in full communion with Rome. Full communion with Rome. I think Copts are not, but the Ethiopians are in communion with the Coptics, and the Pope Shenouda is like their ecumenical patriarch. Our ecumenical patriarch isn't even like the ecumenical patriarch, because we listen to Moscow. We call it Third Rome, and boy, a lot of the Greeks don't like that. And so, and there's even Armenia. I think the Georgian Church is kind of both. It's Eastern Orthodox and Oriental Orthodox, because it'll be in communion with the Armenians, or it'll be in communion with Egypt, and there's never been a clear break. There's been kind of like, all right, they're heretics, we're not, we're heretics, they're not, kind of weird deal for a long time now, for over 1,000 years. There's also been reuniting, going back in Palestine, in places where there's heavy Muslim control. Roman Catholics, Oriental, and Eastern Orthodox all hold communion together. See, the Roman Catholics don't practice in the Vatican I, Vatican II crap. They're Eastern. They don't have to accept any of the Western councils, so uh, they wind up sharing communion together, which you can view that as a horrible thing. You can view that as a beautiful thing. But what happened with the break with the Chalcedonian and the non-Chalcedonians was over a misunderstanding of words. That's what it was, and of people fighting against different heresies. What's called the people who are now the Eastern Orthodox Church now were fighting against the Monophysites and the Oriental Orthodox or the Coptics were fighting against the Nestorians. So when they heard each other's language, they thought, "Oh, you're trying to side with the Monophysites. No, you're trying to side with the Nestorians." Uh, Even though Ethiopia and Armenia really are Monophysite, but not the Copts or the Syriac Syriac Orientals. I don't believe they're Monophysites or even Monophilites. So there's never been a clean break. It wasn't right after the council. Oh, they left. That's you're viewing the councils as if you're a Roman Catholic, because the Roman Catholics hold the council. Day after that, it's accepted. No, the councils are convened, and then it's hundreds of years before they're accepted, before they're acknowledged, before it can be fully okay. This is an act of the Holy Spirit, instead of okay, this is a robber council and screw you guys, because that's happened plenty of times too. It's just like excommunication, like I said. Well, why did Valentinus get excommunicated so late? They waited so long to excommunicate him. No, they wait. They wait to see, is this one guy just doing his own thing, he's going to die out, or what's going on here? And plus, you can't just, we're just going to commit. There was no papal bulls back then, Like I said, if his excommunication happened at 250 or before, that's probably around the right time. If it happened 220 and before, that's really quick. If it happened 200 to 275, that's almost immediate. And if it happened before then, I mean, that's I would even question, I would have to think Valentinus was a lot earlier than supposed, if it happened at that time. If it happened before 175. I have to go back and check the dates of when he was excommunicated. But yeah, that's that's how all the councils and any excommunications go. Just like the West, I mean, the seeds of division were brewing since the 4th and 5th centuries. And Photius actually said, anybody who holds this creed, is anathema. Anybody who holds to the changed creed, that's blasphemous. Read it outside of a church, Greek and Latin. He's, whoa, what is this? This is new. And he was around 900. It didn't take till 1054 before the dual excommunication occurred, the Great Schism. So people who think, oh, since you didn't kick them out right away, or you didn't excommunicate them, or oh, they broke away right away. No. It's a total misunderstanding of Orthodoxy. Families don't work like that, so the Eastern Orthodox Church does not work like that. The Church is a family. And people have to stop looking at it through Western eyes. Peace to you. God save Serbia. This is Yusuf at JohnTheHutDweller channel.